Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
Like it so far?
Mm-hmm. Everybody's been real nice.
Well, that's because you have big jugs. I mean, your boobs are huge. I mean...
Damn!
I love your intros.
I love that intro.
Well, welcome back. It's Thursday night. It's Thursday night Sweet Chin Music, episode 7. We got Biggie Shack with us. We've got Alan, the Comic Viking. Me, myself, and I, Beckerman, and Papa Wheelie, of course, at the helm. We're here to talk some wrestling. We've had some deaths lately. Some wrestlers that are no longer with us. We've got Sting's retirement coming up, and I have an action figure to show off, some wrestling action figures. And though there will be a Cali Comics AOK unboxing whenever he shows up, which I already see him in the chat. So
he's already there.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that first. Should we do that first, Big, or should we wait?
I'm saying knock it out.
No. Yeah, I'm with Alan. Let's knock her out. Callie actually helped me with my funding to my Hawk 181, so thank you, Callie. And thank you for sending that book I said to send to Beckerman, and I appreciate you too, bro.
Heck of a prize tag that turned into an AOK. But up first, let's see a wrestling action figure. Biggie, I told you about this when it got announced. We have the Heavenly Bodies Smoky Mountain Tag Champ action figures from Jim Cornette.
Hey, Pop, can you blow Beckerman up, please?
So, yeah, we got the bodies,
okay.
Dr. Tom Pritchard and Sweet Stan Lane. And it came with this 8x10 signed by Jim Cornette, Dr. Tom Pritchard, and Sweet Stan, not Lauren Boebert's father, Lane. And then it says Heavenly Bodies in the middle. So, yeah.
Is there any other one? Is there any other ones that have Cornette in them like that?
Yes. So they've released 3. There's a Cornette and the original Midnight Express, which is probably what I'll get next. And there's also the modified Midnight Express with Stan Lane instead of Loverboy Dennis Condrey.
All right. Right on.
All right. Let's open up Callie's AOK here. Started off as a prize tag, became an AOK. And you know, Biggie, much to my chagrin, he says he's still going to destroy a Speedball annual ASM.
Oh, there's nothing I could do about this one, man. I'm sorry.
I know. That Callie, he's a madcap.
That's wrong. That's sacrilegious.
It really is.
Every time Speedball dies, Beckerman cries. Boy, Callie really likes the tape.
I went off on someone about on an Instagram post. They were posting about packing comic books, and they put tape it to the Gemini. And I went off. I was like, or you could just bubble wrap around it and tape the Gemini shut. You don't need 8 pieces of tape for a comic book inside a Gemini.
There we go. So we have a Gemini.
He was worried about rain.
And we have a piece of art. What should I start with?
The piece of art we already saw.
Yeah.
You doing the art first? Oh, it's Speedball knocking out Penance.
What?
Where
the fuck did he get that?
That is awesome. Who did this? maybe Weber, Jim Weber, or somebody like that. Wow, that is a great speedball.
That is a nice speedball.
That's good.
And that Penance is taking a hell of a punch.
Damn.
Oh, Callie, you were right. I
Williams.
really enjoy that. That's freaking awesome. Thank you very much. John Williams is the artist name. And I know from talking to Callie, he said it was a local. Somebody local to him.
Well, he's here right now. I did it. John Williams.
Hey, John.
Oh, wow.
That was a great drawing.
Yeah, it really was.
Well, you draw a heck of a speedball. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that is going in the New Warriors portfolio.
It's almost like animalistic speedball. It's something.
It's got a heck of a punch there. Good night, Penance.
Goodness gracious.
Man, that's awesome. And of course, it came with
That's a great first appearance cover, man.
Speedball.
It is.
ASM Annual 22. Move over, Spidey. Enter Speedball, the Masked Marvel.
I got my copy. It ain't
That
going
looks
nowhere.
clean, too.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a good-looking copy. Ron Friends and JR. Or no, JR Senior, duh. JR Senior.
JR Senior. What the hell does that mean?
John Romita Senior and Ron Friends.
Oh. Got it. I'm sorry. I forgot that's his initials, too.
Well, that's a heck of a start to a wrestling show, showing off some comic books
Yeah.
and art. One more time for people who just showed up. Thank you to Cali Comics and amazing job to John Williams. That is just freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I was excited to open this, and my expectations were high. There he is, going to try to get him on in between the lines. Yeah, for sure. Go on there. All righty. Well,
mine is better.
Yep. Thank you, John, and thank you, Callie. So this is going to be a hard transition now into wrestling talk. But Pop, you got something to show off? Oh, you had some comics you wanted to show me, right? I avoided a show the other day just so it didn't ruin. He's got something there.
It's yellow.
It's a middle finger. No.
Yeah, probably that too. It's a comic book.
Oh,
WCW. You've got one of those.
Oh, I got that. Yeah, I don't have it slabbed, though. That's sick.
That's
not issue number 1.
96.
Yeah, that's number 1.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice, Pop.
Speedball wrestling art. That would be something.
Maybe Speedball with a title?
Yeah.
Hey, Brother John. Oh, he's got more?
He's got another book. This is number 2.
Well, yeah.
More
I don't know
wrestling.
WCW number 2.
Oh, the Stinger.
Nice.
A 9/8.
Yeah.
WWE
You know, it was,
WrestleMania 2017 special number 1.
I want to say something about Sting real quick. so they started off together, the Warrior and Sting. Wouldn't you think that Sting went to WWF instead of the Warrior? You know, because Sting was such a better wrestler.
Yeah,
He was.
It don't make no sense. Even early, they really dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah, they did.
Well, Pop, is that it? Were those your Red Sox, or do you got more? While we wait for him, we're gonna probably start. We could start with Sting, but now let's start talking the Wrestle Talk with. We lost some names this week: Ole Anderson and Virgil Vincent. Let's go around the horn and talk about that. Big, you want to lead us off?
Yeah, absolutely. So Virgil was. It's kind of saddening to see Virgil go. He got a little bit of a hard time at some of the cons. People made fun of how short his lines were, and people say that, you know, he kind of suckered people into paying for photos and stuff like that, et cetera, et cetera.
I paid for one of those photos.
Yeah, okay. He a little underappreciated, maybe. I was a huge NWO fan, and I kind of liked his little role in NWO. He's kind of like the floor general sometimes. You know, him and Stevie Ray and stuff like that were kind of the B team sometimes. And of course, the $1 Million Man stuff. I think his best promo was some of the stuff with $1 Million Man. I think my favorite one was the kid dribbling the basketball and $1 Million Man kicks the ball and stuff like that. But I think his biggest match was against $1 Million Man for the $1 Million belt. That was probably his biggest thing.
Well, yeah, and he won, right?
Yeah.
He was coached by the most racist wrestler there was, Piper. It was pretty weird, but that was fun. I'm just joking about Piper. Stereotypically. So that's my spill on Virgil. And then Ole, I'm not much of a Horseman guy, but I did appreciate the stories of him stretching people that would come to arenas and try to get into wrestling, and they'd ask if you knew somebody that could train him, and he would just stretch the shit out of people. And I like old school guys like that, so I've always appreciated Ole. And, you know, Ole did all the work behind the scenes, WCW in the 90s, and the voice of the what's his name, the Smasher, the guy that went through the wall. You know what I'm talking about?
Tugboat.
Yeah.
Tugboat.
Yeah.
He was that voice, you know. So Ole's cool. I think they were both awesome guys, and sad to hear him go.
Ole got a lot of heat from the boys when you know, he was in the later part of his career as a guy in the back, as management. But, you know, he was definitely a representative of his time. One of the last real old school guys. Somebody that spoke up a lot against exposing the business. And, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
Definitely a rest in peace to both. Virgil, Vincent. What I would say about Virgil is both of his like most famous names in WWE or WWF and WCW were ribs. Virgil was Dusty's name, and Vincent was for Vince McMahon. So like
God.
when he was WWF, the Virgil was a dig at Dusty Rhodes. And when he went to WCW, they renamed him Vincent. And that was a dig at Vince. So
interesting. Didn't know that.
Guy. I did meet him at a con. I was one of the people that he was advertising that $1 Million Man would be there. He was not, and was never going to be there. And, you know, he could be a bit of a shyster, but I have to say I had a pleasant experience with him.
Good.
Brother Joe says, I asked Virgil to sign my wrestling card of him and he stole it.
Hey, man, you got to make money.
James Willie, hey, man, how's it going tonight?
How's it going, guys? Sorry I was a little bit late. My computer was giving me problems. It didn't want to sign
All
in.
good, man. All good.
All good.
Comic Viking Alan, any thoughts on either? Man?
Well, Virgil, I thought he was. I hated the $1 Million Man. So at first, I did not like Virgil because he was his bodyguard. But when he turned on him, I loved that storyline. And when he beat the $1 Million Man, it was great. But Ole Anderson, that's rough. I loved the Four Horsemen. I was all about the Four Horsemen, and yeah, that one sucks.
And that was at the tail end of his career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was.
James Willie?
Yeah, so you guys are talking about, obviously, the passing of Virgil and Ole Anderson. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, it was a crazy week, because I know Ole was one of the lead bookers for multiple companies.
Georgia Championship Wrestling.
Yeah.
Profit Promotions and WCW.
Yeah, the major ones. And then so obviously there's going to be a lot of history there, especially with him starting the Four Horsemen, like most of you guys have touched on, being one of the founding members. Yes, I am, sir. I'm over at West Coast, close to Vancouver, Bleecker. But yeah, and so I don't know. It's going to be a little bit different because I don't know if he's been really in the business for. He's been out of the business for a while. Like I believe, like he hasn't booked in probably like 10 years. I think. I don't know if he's
yeah, if not more.
Yeah, that's.
He wrote a book. I think that's the last thing he did.
Yeah, and then with Virgil, from. Like Alan Roos said, I remember watching Saturday Night Main Event and like watching him picking up the money all the time and, being treated not so kindly and being a little kid, like not appreciating what he was doing to Virgil. And then the whole storyline where he comes back and, takes his freedom, I guess you could say, back from the $1 Million Man. But from what I heard, like, with people saying like, I gave him a card and he stole it. That sounded to be the norm for Virgil though. Like he was a little bit grimy from my understanding. And like, he is always out to make a buck, but
and what else with Olive Garden breadsticks.
Yeah. Right. But, what else is he going to do though? Like if you're trying to hold on to something that you're not, it's not like Virgil was a really big character, other than his Virgil character, which isn't even, you know what I mean? It's not even a sidekick at that point. It's just kind of like, I don't know.
He was one step above enhancement talent.
Wow. And it's not even though, if you think about it, right? Because it's not like he's wrestling most of the time. And like, he was just there to pick up the money and be treated poorly. Like, and then when he was part of the NWO, it was kind of the same thing, that was always the joke. But between them all was like, that's why he was the perfect NWO member, because he was just grimy about that money, But it is a pretty sad week, though. I mean, for a lot of the fans and for the people that obviously knew those people.
Yeah. Virgil was a bit younger than I thought he was too. Ole, I knew, was in his 80s at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Minnesota Wrecking Crew was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But let's look at what Pop's got on our agenda, and we'll go to the next item. We've got Sting's last match this weekend. And you're the Buckaroos, huh?
Yeah, I don't know.
Matthew and Nicholas.
We've seen this before, though. It's just we've seen how many people have retired this way.
What do you guys think of Sting coming out of the rafters last night for the first time since Owen Hart died? Anybody not a fan of that spot?
I thought I knew it was coming, but I never even thought about how I'd forgotten that they had stopped doing that after.
Yeah, stop doing it. Let's start with Biggie. I'm trying to work around in the circle. Biggie, should Sting have came out of the rafters?
I say sure. I mean, if it's something that he wanted to do, I say go for it. I mean, I guess it was a respect thing for Owen and shit, but he was doing that before Owen, and,
right. He stopped doing it when Owen died.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a big part of his gimmick there for a while, and he kind of been going naturally back to that. So, and he wanted to go full Sting, so I say go for it. More about it, is the match. That match hasn't happened yet, has it?
No, it's this weekend. So this was his last Dynamite yesterday, and the spot was the Young Bucks had been looking for him all night. They had baseball bats, and they were going to conduct Sting's exit interview of Dynamite. They're going to beat him up, and they found Darby, and they're backing Darby down on the ramp, and they go in, and of course Sting's up in the rafters, and everybody sees it but the Young Bucks, and he comes down out of the rafters right behind the Young Bucks. Great. Honestly, I'm not a huge Bucks fan, but great facials from them as they turn around. Oh, it's Sting. And, you got the Giovanni elongated. It's Sting.
So, for my last thing I'll say about this is I'm going to give a prediction, and I'm going to say that Darby and Sting gets over.
They're going to retain the titles?
Yep.
Interesting.
I know that don't make sense, but, I mean, it's his last match. I don't care what they do with the titles. Let Sting win his last match. Is how I feel.
It's a probability, yeah. Alan?
I think he's gonna lose. Well, actually, if he were in the WWE, he would lose. But
well, they didn't treat Sting the best over there anyway.
True, but I think it's up with like Biggie said. I think it's his last match, and they'll have him win.
James?
Yeah, I think they're gonna win. I don't think
Darby.
that they. Yeah, I don't think that they're gonna let Sting lose his last match unless it's something big, not just like the Young Bucks win. You know what I mean? Like it'd have to be bigger than that. Like maybe Darby
at this
turning
point,
on
I don't
him.
think they'd want the heat.
Well, you never know, man. They could have Darby turn on him. That would get him.
I mean, for everybody in the chat, I know a few people are saying Sting's last match should have been 10 years ago. Callie says better be a quick match. Pop says agree. What I would say is Darby's been carrying this pretty well. He's going to take all the bumps because Darby is pretty much dedicated himself to being injured by the time, he won't be able to work past 40 the way he's going.
No.
And
yeah, he's like Cactus Jack but skinny.
Yeah. He's like a less padded Cactus Jack.
Yeah.
Smaller. I mean, he's scrawny too.
Right.
Yeah, I'm worried about that, but he'll take all the bumps. He'll protect Sting, do 90% of the work. Sting will come in and get the comeback, like they always do. And whether or not they win, I'm leaning towards the win.
I don't think that he's as frail as what people think either. I think we're going to get a good match out of Sting. Sting's been producing really well. I don't think he's going to look that old. That's just my opinion.
Callie says I'd take the Vegas odds on it being under 10 minutes. I don't know about that. I think it'll be over 10. The Bucks aren't going to work that quick of a match on a pay-per-view. They'll carry. And that's another thing. The Bucks against Darby, that doesn't look ridiculous, at least. I don't like it when the Bucks fight much bigger men because, I mean, they're cruiserweights. Even for a cruiserweight, they're not big. When they were Generation Me, that was always the knock against them, is they're so scrawny. Yeah, Bleak's got a point. Stinger is still jumping off the top rope onto the concrete. He did that dangerous spot on the table. Like, what are you doing, Stinger? But, yeah, he gets to retire the way he wants to, so good for him. Up next, and for me, I would have rather he not done the rafter spot. I think that's an unnecessary risk that nobody needs to do. We've got the show and tell. We did that. Chamber. You put Sting's last match twice, Pop. Oh, here we go. Sting and Darby win, and Sting hands over his tag title to Rick. So Darby can carry Rick for 6 months. Dude, Ric Flair does not need to be in a wrestling ring.
Oh, man, no. Oh, God.
No.
That's a whole lot of flab.
No, he doesn't need to die in the ring. Oh, boy. No, one thing I will say, I watched AEW last night to see what happened on Sting's last Dynamite, and it was really bad. It's just not a good show.
I have a question. When are you going to stop watching AEW?
I don't know. There were spots where I was like, okay, this ain't so bad. I didn't even mind the Blackpool Combat Club open the show up against FTR, who have never meant less, and Eddie Kingston, who just looks terrible. I mean, Eddie Kingston looks like he crawled out of a parking lot. He doesn't even look like he should have a job in the stadium, let alone entertaining everyone as a professional athlete. I'm not trying to bury the guy. Just his work looks sloppy, and he's blowed up halfway through the match, and I'm not a fan of his work. These weird chop seat of the machine gun chops, that just looks bad.
Mm-hmm.
It looks phony. He's barely making contact because he's going so fast, that it looks like crap.
It looks as bad as those turds that got beat up by Cody on Monday night.
Oh, yeah. So we can talk Raw. Yeah, Paul Heyman comes out. Chamber next. Didn't we already talk Chamber? Or
No, we did not.
Boy.
Yeah, no, we
Chamber
did. I think me and you did last week, Becker. Am I crazy?
Was Chamber last weekend or the weekend before?
It was this past Saturday. It was like 4 days ago. 5 days
Okay.
ago.
Never mind.
Wow, it feels like it's been weeks.
It only feels like it's been weeks because Papa called every single match.
Look at Papa celebrating.
He did. He called every match.
He did. It was a pretty predictable pay-per-view.
It was. I was a little unsure. I was pretty sure Drew McIntyre would win, but I was thinking maybe Randy Orton had a chance. But, yeah, they threw that twist in
Did you
there.
like that finish?
Yeah. Watching Randy Orton get hit in the face with brass knucks, yeah, that was nice.
I liked it too because it let him keep his heat. Now he's got a feud going into WrestleMania with Logan Paul, and
Yeah, and he's gonna beat Logan Paul for the title.
I would hope so if they want to keep his momentum going. I don't know where he's at in his career. You know what I mean? Is he in a position where you'd want to put Logan Paul over? I hope not, but Biggie, any thoughts on Logan Paul, Randy Orton?
It just don't feel realistic to me. It's just so silly. Like even him beating Owens around, like even when he beat Kevin Owens, he was crying in the background, like, "Oh, I'm dying." Oh, he was like getting drug around, like I'm a media star. Why am I wrestling or whatever? And, he got creative in the chamber when he was doodling. That was my favorite part from him. But whatever, dude. Like if he beats Randy Orton, I guess he beats Randy Orton. You know, I just don't want him to. I want him to start losing more. Like, make him lose. Let's see how entertaining he is as a loser, right?
What did you think of Drew winning, Big?
I couldn't
Drew
hear you.
McIntyre winning?
Oh, I think he's an oaf. I don't like him, but that's my opinion.
I'm aware. I just wanted to hear you say it.
Yeah, CM Punk. We're missing CM Punk action right now because of this oaf. So you guys can enjoy him if you want. I'm not going to.
I think they're either way. They're losing to Seth Rollins. They're just waiting. They're just tiding. They're waiting. They're just what do I say? They're paddling
Biding
the water.
their time.
They're biding their time until CM Punk gets back.
Potentially, I don't know. I could see Drew beating Seth.
No, I don't think you're gonna.
James
you
Willie. Oh, sorry.
Hold on, let me jump in real quick. You brought up the other guy I hate a lot, so I guess I will root for him a little bit if it's against Seth Rollins. So go ahead, James. I'm sorry.
No, sorry. Well, I was preoccupied there for a sec on a phone call. Sorry. What is the topic we're talking about right now?
Elimination Chamber results. Randy Orton getting screwed by Logan Paul, and then.
Well, I think Randy's only short the U.S. title for the Grand Salami. That's the only belt that he's never won. So I wouldn't be too surprised if that's why that happened. And then as far as the whole, what's his name fighting Rollins for the title, I wouldn't be too surprised if we get a special referee for that match between Rollins and McIntyre, and he's an injured wrestler.
CM Punk.
CM Punk, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe a special guest announcer.
Yeah, or something along those lines.
Clobbering time, baby.
Yep.
Anytime Randy Orton,
the women's one was pretty good too.
I thought the women's was great.
The women's one was really good. I
don't know. I'm to be honest with you guys, I'm not really a big Naomi fan.
No.
Just because I'll be honest, her wrestling is mid.
Definitely.
I don't want to watch her slamming her butt on anything. I don't care to watch her do the splits. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I want to see you perform a proper move without looking like you're fresh out of the crowd.
But other than her, I mean, it was pretty like the talent that was in there was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, the women's match really, really, other than the whole Naomi thing, was really good, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm kind of fading tonight, a little tired. Cali Comics says that I'll be battling Seth Rollins next Friday on The Hunt. Oh, that's Boston Chris, isn't it? Comic Cap Collectibles. Hello, all. Hey, Papa Wheelie says I loved it all. Yeah, it was a solid con. We had Cody come out. Cody has called out The Rock too. When does everybody? Will we have like a double Cody at WrestleMania? What are they going to do with this?
Nah, they'll
James?
probably.
Sorry, Alan.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Actually, let Alan go. I want to feed off what Alan says because I'm not very aware. Go ahead, Alan.
All right. I think that what they're going to build to is a match on SmackDown that's going to be like a week and a half, 2 weeks before WrestleMania. So we'll see it in about 2 to 3 weeks. And it's going to be for the chance to wrestle Roman Reigns.
Okay.
I think they'll have Cody. They'll tell Cody, "Hey, you want to wrestle The Rock? You got to put up that opportunity to wrestle Roman, and he'll beat The Rock."
I feel like we've been subliminally getting a lot of Cody and Rock are going to be together stuff. Like we were talking about that a couple weeks ago or something, maybe. So I'm not sure what's going on exactly. You know, like, does Rock want to be a face again? Is because the only chance of him being a face is if he jumps on Cody's side. Is that where we're going? I don't know. Cody said he wants to not just take the championship, he wants to end the bloodline. And I would think taking Rock out of it and Rock being active, that would be a big move. So I'm still in that boat of Rock's going to turn on Roman. I mean, he's got to at some point. He's going to do the match. Is he going to be on Cody's side or not? Is the question.
Yeah. James?
I think that, hopefully, like I said, I think that we'll get the tag team match on night one, to be honest with you, between The Rock, like your Rock and Reigns versus, Cody and Seth on night one. But then I think you'll get some kind of twist where, like, maybe Seth won't do it because he's got to defend his title already. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's asking 3 of those 4 guys to pull double duty. I mean, obviously they can do it. Obviously, I mean, they've done it. They do it all the time. But with a big event like that, do you take that chance of one of them possibly getting injured? And then, I mean, your main event could be screwed.
Rock won't have to pull double duty because he won't have another match. That's the guy you got to most worry about being injured. Roman and Cody, relatively healthy guys, should be fine to work back-to-back nights.
Well, Seth is a bit of a problem because he's prone to hurting people too. Like, I worry about that.
What about you, Pop? What do you think? Will it be back-to-back nights? A tag team match and then Cody finishes story?
That's what I think. Just based on the fact that, like I said, WrestleMania 1 was a tag team match. They're going to want to bring it back. They want to bring, and they said they're going to do big things. So having your champions wrestle on night 1 and then have to wrestle on night 2, that's pretty big, And then for it to be like, it would be really big for Seth to even have to do it if he did it,
Oh, Papa Lily said guest referee for Seth and Cody's matches will be Rock, just like Tyson did for Austin and Shawn.
But yeah, we got to get to that point though. And then, like, how are we going to get to the point where The Rock? See, that's what I thought too, and I heard a couple months back was like we're going to get to a point where Rock is actually going to be the special enforcer for the match, so that the bloodline can't interfere.
But I think if there's going to be a tag match, it's not going to happen at WrestleMania. It'll happen prior to on SmackDown or Raw.
Yeah, you're right. You know, they could do that because then they could have the tag match technically on SmackDown, right? Instead of night one.
Yeah, I just, yeah, I don't know. This is the first I've ever seen them do like a double night freaking, pay-per-view. Not really a pay-per-view because it's on Peacock, but.
Well, and Papa Wheelie thinks guest referee for Seth Cody will be Rock, just like Tyson did for Austin and Sean. Maybe then Rock turns on Roman, and then you have a future potential match between them. Could be. I don't know. All I know is I'm looking forward to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
AEW's never meant less to me.
Well,
and
I got one more little tidbit right here. Okay. I don't know if I saw this on Instagram. I don't know. It was probably some made up crap, right? I'm not saying it's true, but when I saw it, I popped a little bit. What if Cody comes out and he says, I was talking to one of your past enemies or past opponents, and I thought I'd just bring him out to see what y'all are gonna do, or something. And he brings out the Stunner, dude. What if Stunner comes out? How cool would that be?
Huh?
Stone Cold?
Old Stone Cold, man. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just putting it out in the ether just in case I'm right. I'm just saying
That would be sick.
Maybe.
Steve, I think we all need one more Steve Austin at WrestleMania, and one more time in a ring with The Rock, even if they don't wrestle.
Or Undertaker.
I'm good with the Undertaker being retired. After Goldberg dropped him on his head, I don't need to see the Undertaker come back and risk any more of his health.
It's because Goldberg's a chode.
I wouldn't say that, but Bill Goldberg doesn't need to wrestle anymore either. Remember when there was that heavy rumor
He
that
needs one more match too. He needs his retirement match like he wants.
Yeah. Remember when he was potentially going to do it in AEW? That'd be a stinker at this point. Who would he wrestle? Evil Uno?
It would be fitting at this point.
Ric Flair.
He was promised a match against Roman when he gave the belt. That's who took the belt from Roman, or who Roman got the belt from, dude. Was fucking Goldberg.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we watched that match too. How he won the belt.
It's how he's won every championship match.
Yeah,
the bloodline has interfered.
Goldberg's only got 3 moves,
Yeah.
The Rock had 5, and one of them was spitting in his right hand.
Yeah. I think that's everybody's move at one point in the day. What did you guys think about Shawn Spears coming back?
Ty Dillinger back in NXT as not Ty Dillinger.
Yeah, and did you notice he came back as the chairman, his AEW gimmick? And if you noticed all the stuff that was going on in the background, did any of you guys go look up Dreadmare?
No, I did not.
Yo, it's Bo Dallas's stuff. You guys got to be watching it. It's alluding
So
to the
Bo Dallas.
It's alluding to the Sinister Six, or not Sinister Six, the Wyatt Six. My bad. And he's talking about all the stuff that he put out over the last couple of weeks is the stuff that's coming out now on NXT from Shawn Spears. And he just came out and said after we've seen Shawn Spears, he did another little thing on YouTube that he's talking about how Shawn's one of his minions. And then he shows him with the it's like the crazy bunny like headpiece. Well, you guys gotta look it up.
I'll have to, yeah.
Yeah, Bo Dallas has been putting them out, little vignettes with half of the dudes. Like you in one of the vignettes you seen what's his name? Redbeard.
Is NXT worth watching every week?
It will be.
I think I'm gonna have to add it to my rotation. It's just, am I gonna have to watch wrestling every damn night of the week at this point?
No, Fridays won't have wrestling on it anymore.
What about Thursday?
It's going to go to Wednesday to compete with AEW, from what I hear.
It's not going to compete. It's going to go to kill them.
Well, that's what I mean.
Hey, guys. Hey. Orange Cassidy versus...
Orange Cassidy's the only good thing about it.
John Silver. Gonna be a 5-star for Uncle Dave. My God, do they have some crappy talent. You know what? I liked Orange Cassidy 4 years ago, but his gimmick hasn't changed. It's boring at this point.
Yeah,
like I know what he's going to do every match.
Yeah, he's not so smart as he used to be. He used to be cute in the beginning. It's like, oh, we get it, but now you haven't evolved. You got to do stuff.
He doesn't cut promos, and he does the same gimmick in every match. It's like, yeah, I've seen this
with his sweatpant jeans.
Yeah, and I like him. I liked the gimmick for what it was, but he never evolved. Like Biggie hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
You've got to evolve the gimmick. It can't just be the same joke over and over and over and over. Even Rodney Dangerfield got new material eventually.
It's actually gotten worse.
Wrestling is quite repetitive if you think about it, because think about all the yeses and the no's.
But guys still reinvent themselves.
How did Stone Cold reinvent himself?
Yeah, he went from a Hollywood blonde with blonde hair to bald.
His promos got a lot better as he got older. His promos were excellent. His work was trash. He was a brawler, but his promos were top 10, dude. Like he could work the crowd like none other. I mean, it still works though. The what still goes, dude. Like it's like in 2024, people are still saying what.
Yeah, I understand that, but he still said, but he's saying he has to evolve, but not really.
I fast forwarded that match, the Rhea and Macho Man didn't need to reinvent himself.
It was pretty funny. So my friend was over. We were watching we were trying to watch the Elimination Chamber because it was on at 2:00 our time, right? And I guess we fell asleep during the men's chamber match. Like he was on one couch, I was on the other, or sitting up still watching it. And then we thought that once the men's match was over, we forgot that the women's match was on. So my buddy left. He was like, "Okay, bye." I turned off my PlayStation, went to bed, woke up like 3 hours later. Was like, I swore. My wife was like, "What? What?" And I was like, "Man, I just realized like." We didn't even watch the main event. She's like, "What do you mean?" And then I explained to her what happened. She started laughing at us. Must have been like
early.
6 in the morning or something. We were both passing out at.
Yeah, I watched that on the replay. There was no way I was getting up that early to watch that thing.
Yeah, I figured I figured I was still young enough that I could do it, but boy, was I wrong. I was so tired.
Well, boys, I got to rock and roll. I got to rock and roll. I had a lot of fun. I appreciate y'all. I'll catch y'all next week, man.
All right, later, Big.
Yeah, speaking of being tired, let's wrap this up, Pop. I got to go to bed. My eyes are burning. I've been up way too long the last 2 days. Oh, he's gonna show me something, and while he does that, let me show this off.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful gift from Cali Comics. Speedball knocking out that shit heel Penance, who is also the same guy as Speedball. But awesome. What do you got for me, Pop? See how quick it takes me to see what this is. Wrestling? Is it a wrestling book?
Oh, yeah, I know what it is.
Oh, Warrior.
Oh, it's Warrior. God. Oh, I own that book. We read from that book on the Hucklebuck.
I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab myself a book to show you guys quick.
Warrior #1 at 9.8.
Piece of crap that thing was. Beautiful, Pop. In a 9.8, no less.
So it goes from like a $1 book to what, a $5 book? 9.8.
In a 9.8. No, I bet it's worth a lot more than that.
Probably.
Distrucity, baby.
Well, how many did they make of that?
And then mine also came with a first appearance Speedball, really clean looking copy. Thank you to Cali Comics. And before James Willie does this, I'm going to show the action figure. James, I don't know if you were on when I showed this off. Bought it from Cornet's Collectibles. It's the Heavenly Bodies action figure set.
Oh,
Dr. Tom Pritchard and Sweet Stan Lane. The Heavenly Bodies first Smoky Mountain Tag Team Championship. And it came with this beautiful 8x10 signed by Dr. Tom Pritchard, your friend Jim Cornette, the Heavenly Bodies, and Sweet Stan Lane up in the corner.
Wow.
I wonder how many tennis rackets he went through.
A few.
The best there is,
Ooh.
the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
What if Brett screwed Sean?
Yeah. Signed in a beautiful,
That's pretty cool.
beautiful purple.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Oh, man.
Right?
Coming from my heart right there.
I know. I got to get my next goal is I got to get the winged belt so that I can put the Bret Hart stuff right with the winged belt. You know,
Hell yeah, man.
maybe get a pair of shades too from back in the day.
All right, Pop, you done? Let's get the heck out of here.